フルカウンター
Is Grand Cross being left to die? Kinda yes. Now, to be fair, let me just say, I'm still loving the game, although I did get shafted. I'm a little bit pissed off still, and I've not really been uploading too much in the last few weeks now, but that has nothing to do with the game. I mean, I made a community post about it yesterday, which you can see on screen now. A little teaser to what's to come. But we do have to address the big elephant in the room, and that is 7 Days Sin's Origins. This is the successor to Grand Cross. It's literally almost like the sequel, basically. So, to say that that game is not having an impact on Grand Cross right now is definitely not true. I mean, it's almost feel like it's killing the game. A game that I'm going to bring up throughout this video is Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. And if you had played Overwatch 1, you would know that Overwatch 1 was left off to die basically for 2 years with hardly any content. But the difference is when Overwatch 2 came out, it got a massive update. But the problem is that is almost the exact same game, right? There's not really much of a difference. Where Grand Cross Origins and 7 Days Sins is two different games. These are two games that are going to be competing with each other. However, it's possible if Netmarble does it properly, these could be two games that succeed together. An idea that I do have would be, let's say we get Fortnite's Apocalypse content. We already know in Series Origins that we will be getting Percival and Sin. So hypothetically speaking, you can imagine if one character comes out in, let's say, Origins, we get it on Grand Cross 2. They come out at the same time, and let's say if you pull the character on, let's say, Origins, you get a nice little update on Grand Cross. You don't get the character, but let's say you get like an extra 100 gems, you get some nice, like, let's say, anvils, you get a bunch of free rewards for pulling on that game, and it can kind of be vice versa, right? That's kind of hopeful thinking. I'm not too sure if they're going to do that, but that would be a good way to get players to keep playing Grand Cross Origins and also 7 Days Sin's Grand Cross, and that would be a good way for both of them to do well together, right? Rather than one being like, you can kind of say BBS and also, is it Immortal Souls? I think it is. No one plays that one. People only really play BBS. That's kind of the main game. But we can't ignore that Netmarble is putting all the efforts right now into 7 Days Origins, because since the announcement of the game on January 27th, that was literally the last day that Grand Cross released a 2-person banner. I mean, ignoring collaborations, because they're going to have to do 2-person banners. You can't do 2 different banners. It'll be outrageous. But ever since then, we are literally yet to get a 2-person banner. So you can kind of imagine Netmarble has kind of cut our characters in half, basically. We used to get a 2-person banner almost every single week, with the exception of a few characters, with a few seasonals and festival characters. And if you add up all the characters we got this year and compare it to last year, it's probably around a 40% to a 30% cut. So basically our bans have been nerfed. I mean, you can argue if this is last year, this would have been Cusack and Chandler, because it would have been 2 together in 1. And I get the idea. We're getting towards the end of the series. There's not that many new characters, but the argument doesn't really work when there's abundance of characters in PvE or story mode right now. I mean, take Bellion Squad, for example. All of them have animations with ultimate moves as well. So is it really that hard for Netmarble to release them as characters and just give them new skills that, or not even new skills you have already in the game? Granted, you will have to make actual cosmetics, but surely it can't be that hard. I mean, maybe I'm saying that because I don't really know game design, but the character is basically done. Now, as the game goes on, you kind of suspect a certain level of content, right? Now, I'm not saying we should get a lot of content, but we should be getting the bare minimum. And I feel like right now we're getting not the bare minimum, because, well, we're not getting story content. Now, granted, story content, most people don't really care about, but you can't just take away updates, right? Because look at Ragnarok. The last time we got a Ragnarok chapter is almost up to 6 months ago, which is almost half a year, boys. Now, granted, not a lot of people care about Ragnarok, but we can't ignore that he had promised us a new chapter every 2 months, and he can barely deliver that. I mean, even right now, we know next week we're going to get, or 2 weeks time, we're going to be getting most likely a new festival, which a new story chapter, which is a standard, because, well, story chapters come with new festivals, and those are basically Netmarble's moneymaker. But for someone like me, I kind of care about Ragnarok, and I want to see the story progress, because we're kind of getting to a good point right now. If you've kind of, I might make a video on it in the future, but we kind of ended on a decent point. We're kind of getting to, like, kind of towards Ragnarok. We're seeing more characters get introduced, more character reveals as well. So we're kind of at a good point, but he stopped abruptly. And fair enough, it was 1 month. Let's say they just missed the schedule. It's now been 6 months. And like I said, we're going to be getting a new festival and a new update in 2 weeks' time. And 1 month after that, we're going to be getting a New Year banner, which possibly could release Ragnarok, but I doubt it. So it means we're going to go another 8 months to even like 9 months without even getting a Ragnarok chapter, which is absolutely ridiculous. Almost 1 year. Unacceptable. Like, they should be doing every 2 months. And to be fair, they should do a lot more to one every 2 months, because the story's kind of going a bit slow. The Shield Hero collaboration was the first time in almost probably a year now that we got an actual new collaboration that wasn't a rerun, and that basically meant you have to make a whole set of new content, because part 2s are basically just reruns with one new content that, to be fair, right now I'm kind of surprised they even added onto the content that we already had. So to release a part 2 over an actual new collaboration definitely takes less work, and that's kind of why they've been doing reruns. Not only do we actually need them, but it's probably why they've been doing reruns. But 2 weeks ago was the first time we got the actual new collaboration, and it was a little bit disappointing. Arguably kind of one of the worst actual collaborations we've gotten. Firstly, we actually got 4 characters, which is actually a mind-blowing thing at this point. 4 new characters in one banner throughout this year kind of feels kind of surreal. So Netmarble definitely worked overtime to get this update out, and it kind of showed, because, well, if you don't know, the characters had no actual passives, which I think might have been the first thing we've done there. I mean, I don't mean they had all passive, they didn't have passive cutscenes. Normally when you unlock a new character, the actual passive is an actual quest you can do, and it gives some background towards the story. Normally the actual characters get introduced towards the world of 70 Sins. Something mannered that I know most of us skip, but to kind of stop doing that, it feels a bit lazy. And the biggest culprit is, well, we didn't get any story content. Literally, this was the first collaboration next to Slime. Granted, Slime came out almost a month after Grand Cross came out, basically. So they didn't really have that set formula for what collab is to be expected. And Shield Hero didn't do that. We didn't get any story update. We got no story cutscenes. They were just kind of plopped in and just left. No actual context, which is, once again, I know most of us skip them, but it is nice to actually collect all the cutscenes, upload to this channel, and just show you lot it and kind of experience it for people who didn't play the collaboration, for people who are a fan of Shield Hero, to see the characters interact with the actual Sins characters, and we never got that. Once again, that's content they're kind of basically taken away from us. But one thing we did get, which was 2 weeks prior, was something that I appreciate, but it's a bit weird to do that, but not Shield Hero, and that is the actual OC storyline. Twice this year, Grand Cross has done 2 events, randomly by the way, where they animate cutscenes, which to be fair, I love that, and to be fair, this should be a part of the game, along with the updates that are suspected, like the story cutscenes from Shield Hero and also Ragnarok. It's a good addition towards the game, and I have to praise them for it, because it actually is kind of good. To see the Sins interact with having a beach day out was kind of nice, although Escanor don't have a swimsuit character, so he looked out of place. And then the OC characters got a nice little update as well, where it's kind of like a little mini game. You have to solve some puzzles. Very, very good, actually. I'm not gonna lie. So that's something they're doing on a whim. So why not focus on the big updates like Shield Hero and also Ragnarok and give us stuff like that, but for those content? That'll be a lot better. But yeah, boys, that's my opinion. What do you lot think? Like I said, I think the game is still doing fine if we just got the little updates that we deserve to get, like Ragnarok story content, a little more updates towards, let's say, even reverse stages, more tower trials. Not really that difficult to give out more rewards, and also to make one new quest with a new gimmick. They could recently do it every month, but they choose not to. And other than new characters and collaborations, we kind of just get rehashed content, and until basically New Year's or even the actual anniversary, we likely get one new boss throughout the whole year. Not that great, but like I said, 70 Origins is by far probably going to be the main game. It by far looks like the most developed game compared to what Grand Cross is, and I do think that game will probably be better, and to be fair, bring more attention towards Netmarble and also 70 Sins. So you could argue that once again 70 Sins Grand Cross could grow more with the actual release of 70 Origins, but it could also hurt it even more. So it is all up to Netmarble to actually, you know, coincide the updates together, make it so Grand Cross isn't left in the dust and the shadow of 70 Origins, that it can thrive going forward, and especially with more mobile games coming in next year for anime IPs, especially the big one, which is Black Claw Mobile, which is, to be fair, on a lot of Grand Cross YouTubers and also Grand Cross players' mind, because the people who had made that game had also made Grand Cross. Although it looks completely different and probably going to play a lot different, a lot of people are going to give that a try, and well, if they do it properly and get content and new stuff every few weeks, people are going to start playing that game more, give more attention to that game. Not saying Grand Cross is going to die, but once again, it's all up to Netmarble. So hopefully after New Year's, because I doubt they're going to change anything this time around, New Year's we go strong, because next year needs to be a massive year for Grand Cross, because like I said, Black Clover, Series Origins, a lot of attention is going to go away from Grand Cross, and Grand Cross is going to start shining. So we need big hype characters, which we're probably going to start the year with bang, with Mayel, going forth with hopefully fun pockets content, Chaos Arthur, big characters, big events happening. It's going to be sick, so hopefully that's happened, but you never know. So boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, let me know what you think. Once again, still love Grand Cross, still playing it every single day, loving it, actually having the most fun right now in PvP. I'm loving the Nafumi team, and also Shield Hero collaboration. It's so fun to use those characters. Just want to put that out there, because I'm still loving the game. So yeah, boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.